Hello and welcome to One Amount as a Percentage of Another with Cubits Education. In this mini lecture you will write one amount as a fraction of another and write one amount as a percentage of another. So let's start by looking at some questions that might come up. There are 30 people in an office, 10 are women. What percentage are women? So in this case we have 30 people and 10 of them are women. So we can write that as there are 10 out of 30 women. Okay, so 30 in total goes on the bottom and 10 women are on top. 10 over 30 are women. So to turn that into a percentage, you might already know it, okay, which is fine, which is great. But what we can do is we can turn this into a decimal. So as a decimal, that means we would do 10 divided by 30 on your calculator. Okay. Like I say, there's a lot of these that you should already know as percentages, and from the previous videos, so you really need to learn those as well. But these ones, we'll go through using a calculator. So 10 divided by 30, make sure you do put the 10 in your calculator first, not the 30. So 10 divided by 30 is 0.333, and that will continue on. So I'm going to put a recurring dot, as you will have also seen in some previous videos. So that dot means that it goes on forever. Now to turn that into a percentage, all I need to do is times it by 100. So if I times that by 100, it gives me 33.3%, and I'll just put my recurring dot on top of there as well. Okay? So this is the rule that you need to remember. The top number divided by the bottom number times by 100. Okay, so number one, you write it as a fraction, which we did here. We then turned it into a decimal by dividing here, and then we turned it into a percentage by multiplying it by 100 here. Okay, so they're the three things you need to remember to do. Feel free to pause the video and take any notes. Okay, let's look at another one. The ratio of cars to bikes in a car park is 20 to 4. What percentage of the car park is made up of bikes? Now the first thing you need to remember is that it's written here, cars to bikes, which means this is cars to bikes. There are 20 cars to 4 bikes, or something like that. It might not be that there are 20 bikes and 4 cars, but that is the ratio. There could be 100 cars and 20 bikes, because that's the same ratio that's been cancelled down to 20 to 4, something like that. Okay, ratio will come up on another video. So I know that there are four bikes, and altogether there are 24 automobiles. Okay, so we'll just use the number that we've been given. There is 24 altogether, 20 cars, 4 bikes. Okay, we'll go with that. So there's 24 automobiles altogether, 4 of them are bikes. Okay, so to write that as a fraction, it would be 4 out of 24. 4 bikes out of 24 automobiles altogether. So now what we'll just do what we did before. We need to do 4 divided by 24 to give us our decimal. Okay, now I've rounded up here, but normally this would be recurring. It'd go on and on and on and on, and you can put a little dot there. Okay, but I've just rounded. So then to turn that into a percentage, I need to times by 100, giving us 16.67%. That is to 2 decimal places, so if you rounded like that, you must say that it's to 2 decimal places. I know I've not done it, but in your exam, make sure you do. Okay, so this is your rule, 4 over 24, or divided by 24 times 100. Okay, let's look at this one a bit harder. A chocolate bar weighs 40 grams and contains 2 grams of protein, 3 grams of fat, and 35 grams of carbohydrate. What percentage of protein, fat, and carbohydrate does the chocolate bar contain? Well, let's look at protein first. Protein has 2 grams. Okay, so there's 2 grams of protein out of 40 grams in total. So it's 2 out of 40, which is our fraction. I've cancelled it down a little bit to help me. You know, you might not want to do that. It depends. If you're using a calculator, you don't really have to cancel down. So I've cancelled it down by dividing by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 40 divided by 2 is 20. So this is the fraction. It doesn't matter which fraction you use to do the division. To get your decimal, you'll still get the same answer. So you could do 2 divided by 40 or 1 divided by 20. I just cancelled it down for fun, I guess. Okay, so if we do that division, 1 divided by 20, that gives you a decimal of 0.05. We times that by 100, and that's 5%. So the protein in that chocolate bar is 5% of the chocolate bar. Okay, so let's look at fat now. Fat has 3 grams out of 40. 3 grams out of 40. 3 divided by 40 is 0.075. If I times that by 100, it gives me 7.5%. And the last one is the carbohydrate, and the carbohydrate has 35 grams. That's a lot. That just shows how bad a chocolate bar is for you, I suppose. But hey ho. So 35 out of 40. Again, I've cancelled down. You don't necessarily have to in this case because you're going to use a calculator to do the division. But I've cancelled down. And if I did 35 divided by 40 on my calculator, or if I did 7 divided by 8 on my calculator, I would get 0.875. And if I times that by 100, it will give me 87.5%. Okay, another one then. This one's about an increase in percentage. So this one's a little bit different. Tommy buys a bike for £60 and then resells it on eBay for £80. What is the increase as a percentage? So, first of all, the increase is £20. He bought it for 60 and sold it for 80. So he's made £20 profit. Okay, but now I need to write that as a fraction of the original amount. The original amount was £60. So it's 20 over 60. Okay, 20 over 60 is like 20 divided by 60, sorry, and then times that by 100 to give you your percentage. So 20 divided by 60 would have given you 0.33333 recurring. You would have then times it by 100 and it would have given you this 33.33%. Okay, and I've rounded that to 2 decimal places, or you can just put your dot above there to show that it goes on forever. Okay, right, another one like that then. This is a reduction question, percentage decrease. The number of people at a boxing club decreases from 35 to 28. What is the percentage reduction? Well, first of all, 35 take away 28 is 7. So 7 people left. So that's how many have gone. And the original amount is 35. So it's 7 over 35. So don't use the new amount. It's always the original. 7 divided by 35 is 0.2. If we times that by 100, it gives us 20% as our percentage. So the general rule for percentage change is the actual change over the original amount divided by, remember, times by 100. That's the rule you've got to remember for percentage change. There will be another video on percentage increase and decrease, so don't be too worried about it. Okay. Thank you very much. There will be some questions in the actual course video section for you to have a go at and either send back to me or just practice with. So thank you very much for using Cuba Education, and I'll see you next time.